The date was set 3 weeks ago. You've known it the whole time. You've watched it on the calendar the way you watch a car come toward you in slow motion, close enough to see it clearly, too late to move. Tonight it's not a date anymore. It's a clock. 24 hours left. You're still in your regular cell. Nothing looks different. Nothing feels different yet. But at 9 p.m. tonight, everything changes. So right now, for the next few hours, you exist in a strange in-between, the last stretch of ordinary time you will ever have. You've already said most of the things you needed to say. You've already written the letters you were going to write. What's left now is just the waiting, and the waiting is its own kind of wait. 23 hours left. The phone calls stop. Not all of them. Your attorney can still reach you, but everyone else? Your family, your friends, anyone who wanted to hear your voice one last time had until tonight to do it. That window just closed. A corrections officer notes the time in a log. From this point forward, you are on death watch. 2 officers will be stationed outside your cell around the clock. They will log what you eat, whether you slept, how many times you stood up, how many times you sat back down. Every 15 minutes, something gets written. You are now the most closely observed person in this facility, watched with more consistency and more care than almost anyone outside these walls will ever be watched. 22 hours left. You try to sleep. The cell has been checked for contraband. Your belongings have been inventoried. There is a form somewhere in this facility that describes exactly what will happen to your thing, who gets notified, what gets returned. The state has paperwork for all of it, prepared in advance, filed and waiting. The fluorescent light hummed. You stopped noticing that hum years ago. Tonight you notice it again, the exact pitch of it, the way it doesn't waver. It occurs to you that this light will still be humming tomorrow night, and the night after that, and it will not register that anything changed. You may sleep for an hour. The log outside your door will know better than you will. 21 hours left. Somewhere right now, your attorneys are awake. They may be in an office or a car or hunched over a laptop in a hotel room 3 blocks from a courthouse. They are filing something or waiting for a response to something or refreshing a docket. They have been fighting this case for years. The direct appeals, the federal habeas petitions, the post-conviction motions. Most of those roads have closed. What's left now are the emergency lane, last-minute stays, 11th hour applications to courts that are also, at this hour, awake and waiting. The legal term is extraordinary relief. That's what you're depending on tonight. Somewhere, a judge is reading a document with your name on it. 20 hours left. Morning comes the way it always comes in here. Not with light, with sound, footsteps, a tray. You eat. Your body wants to eat even when your mind can't understand why it's bothering. Either way, you eat because the body insists on its routine, even when routine has become meaningless. 19 hours left. They ask about a spiritual advisor. If you have one, a chaplain, a minister, a religious counselor from outside the facility, the paperwork for their visit has already been filed. Their time window, their permitted actions inside the execution chamber, whether they're allowed to touch you, whether they can pray out loud. All of it has been reviewed, vetted, and approved in advance. This is one of the most litigated areas in American death penalty law right now. Prayer is not just prayer anymore. It is also a security decision, a form field, a line item in a procedure document. If you have someone, they're coming later today. 18 hours left. The morning passes slowly. You've been given paper and a pen, a safety ink pen, the kind that can't be weaponized. In Oklahoma's protocol, it's listed specifically among permitted items. Paper, safety ink pen, religious text, small hygiene item. This is what's allowed. This is the full inventory of your world today. Some people write final letters, things they couldn't say on the phone, things they want to exist somewhere after they don't. Some people read, some people sit. There's no right way to spend this kind of morning. There's no guidebook for this. You are doing something almost no one does, something so far outside the normal structure of human experience that your instincts offer you nothing useful. So you do whatever you do, and the officers log it every 15 minutes. 17 hours left. Your property is being processed. Somewhere in the facility, someone is going through the formal inventory of everything you own in this building. Clothes, photos, letters, whatever accumulated over however many years you've been here. Decisions are being made or have already been made by you on forms you signed about where it goes, who receives it, what gets disposed of. There's a name for this kind of paperwork. It's called post-death arrangements, and it exists, finalized, before you're dead. The state is very organized about this. 16 hours left. Your attorneys will arrive in a few hours. Right now, they're probably still working, making calls, checking inboxes. The last few hours before an execution have a particular kind of energy in a legal team. Controlled urgency, the professional equivalent of holding your breath. They've done everything that can be done through official channels. What they're waiting for now is a response, a ruling, a phone call from a clerk's office. The word granted on a document. The word denied is also possible. Statistically, it is more likely. 15 hours left. You've been thinking about them. Of course you have. The victim's family, the people on the other side of this night. For them, tonight is also a countdown. 24 years, maybe, or 15 or 8, since something happened that rewrote every day that came after it. Some of them will be in a room tonight watching through glass. Some won't come. Some tried to stop this, and some have spent years making sure it would happen. The state accommodates both. There are victim services coordinators, transport arrangements, a separate witness room. The protocol is written to handle their presence with as much procedural care as it handles yours. 2 families, 2 rooms, 1 piece of glass between them. 14 hours left. The afternoon is the hardest part. Not because anything is happening, because nothing is. You have hours left and there is nothing to do with them. The legal machinery is running without you. The facility is running without you. Everyone has their assigned role in what happens tonight, their checklist, their procedure, their team. You are the only person in this building without a job to do. You are the subject of all this activity. That is your only role now. 13 hours left. Your spiritual advisor arrives. This is the last genuinely unscripted hour you'll have. Whatever you talk about, whatever you pray about, whatever you say or ask or confess, it's not logged. It's not on a checklist. It belongs only to you and to them. Some people say this hour is the most important one, that everything before it was waiting, and everything after it is process. And this is the only hour in the last 24 that is truly human in scale. They leave before dinner. The protocol requires it. There is a schedule, and the schedule holds for everyone. 12 hours left. 12 hours ago, you were trying to sleep, listening to the fluorescent hum, counting the footsteps in the hall. Now you're sitting with the aftertaste of a conversation you didn't want to end. 12 hours from now, if nothing changes, if no judge issues a stay, if no governor makes a call, if the legal machine runs all the way to its conclusion, you will be dead. Let that land for a moment. Then let's keep going, because the clock doesn't wait. 11 hours left. Your attorneys arrive. They have 1 hour with you in person, maybe 2, depending on the state. They tell you what they can, which filings are still active, which courts are still in play, what the realistic chances are. They don't lie to you. You've known each other too long for that. What they can tell you is that they're still fighting. You sign some papers, personal papers, not legal ones, final arrangements, whatever you haven't already finalized about what happens after. It takes less time than you expected. It always does. The attorneys leave 2 hours before the scheduled time. That's the rule. The facility has a schedule, and the schedule runs on everyone, attorneys included. You watch them go. 10 hours left. The confirmation calls have started. This is the part that happens out of your sight, but runs parallel to every minute of your afternoon. In the warden's office, a phone line is being kept open. To the attorney general's office, to the governor's office. The question being asked and re-asked, and asked again closer to the hour, is a simple one. Has a stay been issued? This open line is written into the execution protocol. Florida's procedure explicitly requires it. Texas confirms with both the attorney general and the governor's office before proceeding. Oklahoma's protocol calls it notification to proceed, a formal confirmation that the state has authority to move forward. 9 hours left. Dinner arrives. In some states, this is the meal, the one you chose within the cost limit, personally prepared. In others, it's the standard tray. You eat it the same way you ate breakfast, mechanically, distantly, the body doing its thing while the mind is somewhere else entirely. After dinner, there may be a final visit window. Your family, if they came, short, supervised. The kind of goodbye that has a guard in the corner and a time limit and no good way to end, because there's no version of that goodbye that doesn't feel insufficient. You say what you say, they leave. 8 hours left. The facility begins to change around you. Access to the building is being restricted. Additional staff are arriving. Not just your watch officers, but the full execution team. In Oklahoma's protocol, these teams have specific names: command team, restraint team, special operations team, traffic control team, witness escort teams, victim services team. Each team has a role. Each role has a checklist. The machine is assembling itself around you. You can't see most of it, but you can feel it. The way the air in the building has shifted. The way the footsteps sound different now. More deliberate, more purposeful. Something is being prepared. That something is tonight. 7 hours left. You've been thinking about the number. 190. That's how many people have been exonerated from death row in the United States since 1973. Sentenced to die. Found later to have not done it. Released. Some of them days before their execution. Some after decades. 190 people who sat in a cell like yours, ate a meal like yours, watched the clock like you're watching it now, and were eventually told, "We were wrong." You don't know if you're the next one. Maybe you are. Maybe the truth of your case exists somewhere in a file that nobody has found yet, or in a memory that nobody has spoken yet, or in a piece of evidence that no lab has tested yet. Or maybe you're not. The machine doesn't distinguish. The machine has a schedule. 6 hours left. You shower. Clean clothes are issued. This moment is is in the protocol. In Texas and Florida, there's a specific window for a shower and a change of clothes before the final sequence begins. It feels almost ceremonial, the state presenting you cleanly for what comes next, as if appearance matters, as if there's a formality to be observed. You put on the clothes. They're not your clothes. Nothing in here has ever really been yours, but you put them on. 5 hours left. The open phone line is active now, but not for you. You're past the window for outgoing calls. This line belongs to the facility, to the warden and the team and the confirmation chain that has to complete before anyone moves. The Attorney General's office, the governor's office. Has anything changed? Is there a stay? Is there anything that stops us from proceeding? If the answer is no, and in most cases tonight the answer is no, then the next call will be the last one. The order to proceed. Somewhere in this building, someone is sitting by a phone and waiting. So are you. 4 hours left. Your dinner tray has been cleared. The protocol notes this specifically in some states. Removal of utensils after eating. Confirmation that everything is accounted for. A small logistical detail that somehow feels enormous. Clearing the tray is the state acknowledging that this particular ordinary thing is behind you now. What's left is not ordinary. The medical equipment is being checked in the chamber. The IV materials are being prepared. Oklahoma's protocol requires a full-body X-ray at some point during the day, looking for anything that might complicate IV access. The team that places the line must have medical training. They will not be a doctor. The American Medical Association prohibits physicians from participating in execution. So there is a person who is medically trained and there is a needle. And that distinction exists in a policy document somewhere that you will never read. The monitor is being calibrated. The checklist is being run. 3 hours left. The witnesses are arriving. They come in separate groups, escorted by separate teams, processed through separate entrances. The victim's family on one side, your family, if they came, on the other. Press, usually a limited pool of 5 or fewer reporters in their designated area. Official witnesses, as required by law. Most of them don't know each other. Most of them will never speak. They have been brought to this same building on this same night for completely different reasons. They will watch the same thing through the same glass, and it will mean something completely different to each of them. The law requires all of them to be here. This is a public act performed on behalf of the state. It will be witnessed. 2 hours left. The last confirmation call goes through. No stay, no court order, no phone call from the governor's office changing anything. The legal machine has run its full course and arrived here, at this building, at this night, at you. The warden receives the order, proceed. The escort appears at your cell. You stand up. You don't know exactly what you feel. Accounts from the small number of people who received a last-minute stay and survived describe it differently every time. Some say numb, some say strangely calm, some say more awake than they've ever been in their life. Whatever you feel, your legs work. You stand, you walk. Last hour left. The chamber is smaller than you imagined. It always is. There's a table in the center, padded, slightly angled so the people behind the glass can see your face. There are straps. They go on quickly. Chest, arms, legs. The people doing this have done this before. They are not cruel about it. They are not kind about it. They are professional about it. And somehow, that professionalism is the strangest thing of all. The warden steps forward and tells you how you're going to die. Lethal injection. 3 drugs in sequence. The first sedates you. A heavy anesthetic that within seconds makes the room go soft and distant. The second is a paralytic. It stops every muscle in your body, including the ones that control breathing. The third stops your heart. Each stage is confirmed before the next begins. Someone watches the monitor. Someone watches your face. The checklist runs like aviation pre-flight. Methodical, sequential, nothing skipped. An IV line goes into your arm. The curtain opens. On the other side of the glass, you can see 2 rooms divided by a partition. On the left, the victim's family. On the right, your people. Your mother is there. She came. She's looking at you through the glass and trying to hold her face together and not quite managing it. The reporters have their notepads open. The official witnesses are seated and still. The warden looks at you. Do you have a final statement? This is the last unscripted moment of your life. The last time your voice belongs entirely to you. No form to fill out after. No officer logging it. No procedure waiting on the other side of it. Researchers who have studied thousands of final statements found something that surprised them. The language almost always skews positive. Not because everyone is at peace, but because the mind reaches for meaning when it knows it's writing its last line. People say, "I love you more than anything else." Some maintain their innocence one final time, calmly for the record. Some ask forgiveness from people who may not be able to give it. You open your mouth, and suddenly a door opens. Not the witness curtain, not the chamber entrance you walked through, the side door, the one with the heavy handle that makes a sound like a vault. It swings open hard and fast, and a man man in a suit walks in holding a phone, and he is already talking before he's fully through the door. Stop. Do not proceed. The room goes completely still. Every person in that chamber, the restraint team, the monitor operator, the warden, the person standing next to the IV line, everyone freezes because that door does not open like that. The man hands the phone to the warden. The warden listens. His face changes. 6 days ago, your girlfriend walked into a police station 2 states away and asked to speak to a detective, the one who testified against you at trial, whose eyewitness account placed you at the scene, whose testimony the jury said was the deciding factor in their certainty. She talked for 4 hours. She said she lied. She said she was coached. She said she had been living with it for years, and she couldn't let it go any further. 7 pages, notarized, a full recantation of everything she said on that witness stand. The detective filed the report. It moved through channels. It got tangled in jurisdiction, in who had authority to act, and whether this was a matter for the court or the governor or the attorney general. It moved the way bureaucracy moves, slowly, procedurally, correctly, at a pace designed for normal time. Nobody told your attorneys for 6 days. The email finally reached the governor's legal counsel at 8:47 tonight. Your execution was scheduled for 10 p.m. By the time the right person read it, verified it, made the call, and got through to the facility, the escort was already at your cell. You were already in the corridor. The man in the suit got through the door with 11 minutes to spare. 11 minutes. The warden hangs up. He looks at you on the table, strapped down. The needle is in your arm, curtain open, your mother's face visible through the glass. The warden gives the order to remove the line. He gives the order to unbuckle the straps. He leans down and says 2 words that no one in the history of this room has ever said to someone already on this table. You're free. 190 people have been exonerated from death row in the United States since 1973. You were supposed to be the 191st. The difference was 11 minutes.